In the clearing, I've also kind of gotten a little bit more inspiration. It seems like my channel now is clearer.
The right people will hear it. And if people don't like it, that's fine too. Everybody's different. But it also when somebody says something that I get defensive about, it's like I got to look at why I feel that way.
Mhm. Hi, everyone. This is Vicki. It's your time. And my co-host is,
Donna, and yes, welcome to It's Your Time. That was wonderful. We didn't even plan that, and we turned on the record, and away we went.
I guess we're getting a little bit better
We're
about
getting
that.
better at this. Yeah. Yeah, I love that. So yeah, speaking of getting better, we have a different kind of format through all the past what month or so that we haven't been able to be able to interview anybody because everybody's busy this time of year and computer glitches. That was the other
Yeah.
thing. We realize after watching ourselves over and over that we have a whole new way that we want to present this. So we're going to be giving you a different, and hopefully it'll be the same each time. So we want to tell you what's new, and we want you guys to be thinking of these things each week too. It's 11:23 at 2:22. How cool is that? I love it. So yeah, so we're going to say what's new. That's our first thing. So it's your time to think about what's new in your life this week.
That you would like to share. Leave a
If you would
comment.
like to share. Yes, if you would like to share. Yeah, definitely. And anybody who has an awakening story or what do you want to call it? Awakening, what's another word for it? Um, that you've opened up your heart and things have changed in your life. You're a different person. You've had some kind of huge thing happen in your life, let us know because we love to interview people like that also so that other people can understand maybe this will spark something within them that will help them open their heart.
Mhm.
So yeah. So Vicky, what's new with you? Well,
Um, we all got together because of Ann Tucker. Um, she's a channel for the angels, and right now she's channeling Mother of Creation right now, and she got this big inspiration to do 40 days of channeling for us at like in Arizona, it's at 10:30 each morning. And there has been a lot of clearing that's been happening for me. And, all these things were coming up from my past, things to get rid of, things that I didn't need anymore. And in the clearing, I've also kind of gotten a little bit more inspiration. It seems like my channel now is clearer than
oh,
it has
that's
been. And it's
great.
just the first 5 days. So
Yeah.
this is going to
Yeah.
be quite a journey. And supposedly it's going to be, well, it's for 40 days. I don't know when the end of the 40 days is, but
The
so,
solstice.
it's going to be around the equinox, maybe,
Yep.
or the solstice, the
The
solstice.
solstice. Yeah.
Yeah, which is when
Yeah.
3i Atlas is going to be closest to the Earth, which is,
Yes.
there's something going on, but because of her 40 days of channeling and clearing and love and filling you up, and it's I've seen a difference in my life already.
Just from 5 days. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I work during the day, so I one of them I was there for part of it from on my break, but the other
Mm-hmm.
ones I've had to do after. But excuse me. But speaking of clearing, it has cleared a lot for me also, and I've learned how more like what comes in where. When she's talking about the angels, I can feel like or your crown chakra. I felt like my head was really itchy, and I was like, why is it? I just washed my hair. Why is my? And then she mentioned later, why my head was itching like crazy, and I realized it was. I was like, That's what happened. And also when Mother of Creation first came in, when we met her in upstate Arizona, it was like an umbilical cord at my what is that, sacral, no, what is that, the under the sternum, I can't think of it, solar plexus. And so when we started this week, I could feel her, the warmth there. And then when she said something about moving it up to your heart, I it went up to my heart. And now I feel it in my front and back whenever I'm listening to her. So it's incredible. It's totally that was totally the physical side of it. And then you and I, well, you saw yours last week, you said. You saw, um was it this week?
What are you talking about?
The Sekhmet and the lioness and all
Oh,
that.
that was a while ago. That was like
Oh,
last week, couple weeks ago,
so you
where
got it
I
beforehand.
felt Sekhmet had come through and been a part of my team for some unknown weird reason.
I feel like it's because of the 8-8 portal. That's where I first saw it, saw her. But it's, the lioness, what I
Hmm.
think was used to be on the pyramid before they changed it. I don't know if it's true. I just see that in my journeys. So, but other people have said they see it. But anyway, but that came to me, and but the clearing thing is the angels clearing the first day when she says, clear on it. I could feel things kind of filtering away. Today, I felt was like they had their hand on my head. I couldn't feel anything. Nothing happened, and I had just done my meditation, so I guess I already cleared. So this is helping me to understand how it feels in my body, and it's bringing me the same dream every night, that's weird. I haven't had that since I was a kid.
Yes, there's something you have to face there. I don't know what it
Yeah, I
is.
don't know what it is either, but I have to figure out what it is. I don't know. But maybe I have to, it's the same person coming up over and over. So anyway, someone from way back in my life. So I don't know how I could contact them, but
Well, sometimes
I don't want to.
just writing to them and, you know,
Yeah,
just writing a letter to them and
I
then,
don't know what to say.
burning it.
Everything is, I've already done this. I've already forgiven them. I've asked them to forgive me. I've understood the whole situation. I don't know. Maybe they're just calling me. I don't know. It's weird. But one day when she said, the one where she said I am here. I am looking at you. I am looking in your heart. I am seeing all your fears, and I don't remember how she worded it, but the idea being that she could see your fear and shame and all the things that you think are
Hmm.
awful. I see them and I love them. And the second day she said something like that, I saw them like ahead of me, like, oh, there's this, there's this, there's this. And then and I was thinking, okay, is that what you mean? And then Anne's voice, she came back saying, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And I was like, wow, like she's talking to me. And I was like, okay. And then she said, I forgive you. Whatever, it's all forgiven. You can forget it. And it
Hmm.
just like was just disappeared in love. It was so beautiful. So it's a wonderful thing. Now this started with the first I heard of it was, who was it? Somebody said, oh, my guides, my celestial helpers said that to change my morning routine until the solstice. I don't know if you remember that.
I do remember that.
Yeah, and then I think it was you who told me that Kelly Kaladny, or maybe I saw it with Pam Gregory, that she said that her guides told her to change things for 40 days. And then Anne came out with this thing saying, oh, we're going to do this for 40 days. It was just like so,
Yeah,
beautiful.
and because it's from now through the solstice, I think she was obviously divinely inspired to do this for all of her people
That's right.
and everyone who wants to. It's totally free. It's a YouTube live. You can jump on. In Arizona, it's 10:30. It's Pacific time. It's 9:30, and it's just a wonderful little experience. Where people come together and they.
Like for half an hour or something, 20
Yeah,
minutes one
yeah.
day. But that's a big thing. I mean, I
It
know she
is.
channels every day, and I mean, I do somewhat, but channeling in front of people well, she did it. She's done it where she does 6 hours or
Yeah,
something.
yeah,
So
yeah.
she's really good at
That's
it.
a
But
lot.
yeah,
It's a lot.
she does it a lot.
Yeah.
So I've been watching her, and I'm feeling what she's kind of, going through, and realizing, yeah, she connects really fast to them, and my when I'm doing lives, I feel like it's taking forever, but then I have to just say, forget it, just do it, just go with it,
Mhm.
and then later when I watch, it's like, I don't know, 30 seconds, and there they are. So it's not bad. They're always there. And also Mother Creation. It's a joke that I don't even know if I can repeat, that happened to me when as she was saying something, and it was something about green pastures or whatever, and I was thinking and talking about it, but it was heavenly or something, and I was thinking, oh, like Atlas, or my green orbs that I see sometimes from my guides, and then she just like flashed a bunch of green, and it didn't look like my celestial helpers, because theirs is a different kind of thing, and it was she, and then she giggled on the thing, so it's like she's talking to each person personally. It's kind of eerie on one hand, but it's so lovely and beautiful on the other hand. It's like, and saying, well, tell us what, I can't even put into a, one sentence what it feels like, or
Mhm.
all I can do is say, I saw a lioness, and then I realized later it was Sekhmet. Um, and things like that happen, but it's a big thing. So what came through for you? Really inspired you this week. So we're moving
Yes.
on to inspirations and then
Inspirations and
synchronicity.
synchronicities.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, because of that, the very first channel that she did, I thought about my dad came in, and it's like, why is my dad popping into my head? And it's because I never think of him, and I wrote on my Noodle Brain Facebook page about, I put it into words, and he wanted to be forgiven. And I kind of said why he wanted to be forgiven. And but I don't really think of him that much. And I think it's because there's this thing, there's a wall that I have up against him.
Ah,
Because I feel like he used me to try and get my mother back. It's a whole story. But he wanted to be forgiven. And it came to me that I'll bet you there's a lot of fathers who want to be forgiven
mm,
for something,
mm,
and mine was mine was not a horrible thing by any means. It did affect me very deeply for quite a long time, but people get affected by different things, and that's, perfectly fine. But so, and also because he wanted to be forgiven, after I said, I can forgive you, I don't agree with what had happened. I'm
right.
not condoning what happened, but I can forgive him because I can do that, And then he came back and go, well, now I want you to accept my love. It's like, oh, what do you want from me?
Well, he just told you.
And
Well,
so it's
but
like,
that could be a good
okay,
thing.
well, it's like, oh man, I
Well,
just,
but if you haven't forgiven him, it wouldn't be easy to accept his love. So
I know.
if it's
So
difficult,
now,
then
so
maybe you're,
now
yeah.
I said, okay, I can accept your love, because as I was going through this process, his mother was coming through. And I remember his mom, like I saw her maybe twice in my life. And she lived out in the back country. They didn't really have running water. And I just remember an attic that I had to sleep in. It was very hot because it was in Fairplay, Missouri.
Oh, wow.
And I just remember hearing mosquitoes.
Uh,
So it wasn't, it wasn't a very pleasant experience, but it was an experience.
mm,
And she had a very, very hard life. And so by
sounds like it.
me
Yeah.
by me forgiving him and accepting his love, that means his family lineage can come through me, and I can help them experience this awakening also. This transition that we are all moving into a higher vibration, a higher dimension, more of an open, transparent dimension that everyone's fears and hardships and things can be seen and dissolved once they're
That's
seen.
right. And when you generationally assist in a healing like that,
Hmm.
shamanically and, the Aboriginals and all of that, but I don't know what you call those kind of people like me,
Hmm.
say that you are healing 7 generations forward and seven
Hmm.
generations back. So that's a big thing that you did.
Yeah.
You,
Yeah. My mom's side, I always think about them. It's no big deal to me, but never thought about my dad's side. So now I have, and now I've accepted, the other half of my DNA. And it's funny because after I wrote this big Facebook thing purging, it was a Scorpio new moon therapy session.
okay. It
And
didn't
so,
seem that long to me, but I guess
well,
mine are,
no, it was just this week. It's just been a big week.
yeah, yeah.
And after that, I play my games on my Kindle, and I got this generated bot opponent called Miss Jones. Now my mother's maiden name was Jones, and so it's like, okay, that was my mom like giving me a thumbs up
Hmm.
for
Hmm.
accepting the wholeness of my lineages.
That's really great. That is so cool.
Yeah.
Have you ever had your DNA tested to see where you're from? I did
Oh,
that
I
on
have. I
Ancestry.
have. It's,
Yeah.
it's
Well,
a
on
little of everywhere.
oh, yeah, mine's kind of like that on Ancestry though. Every so often, the more people that do it, the more they can narrow things down,
Mhm.
and they'll send me an email every so often saying, we this has
You
changed.
have new relatives.
Yeah, well, that too. Well, yes, it was a blessing to me because I found one of my favorite relatives. I found,
Oh,
she's become one of my favorite relatives. Well, I have many, but but and I wish I'd have known her when I was younger. But yeah, it's a great thing that way. But the cynical side of me is like, well, now they can just trace everybody everywhere, and the government can have a hold of all of that stuff.
well, and we're going to be in a transparent society.
Absolutely.
This is where we're going, so we might
Yeah.
as well just get used to it.
Yeah.
I'm not saying we can't have our privacy. I'm just saying it's going to be harder. Just,
Yeah, no, well, I understand. Transparency is really, I mean, I'm all about that. Richard Rudge
mhm.
was just saying if you haven't faced all of these things by 2027, that, you're stuck with it. And then Amrit said, well, I heard that it'll turn into crystallized skeletons, and that just freaked me out. I was just like, what? So this comes with discernment. I went, okay, look at it the way you would look at that, not like, there are physical. He's talking about things crystallizing because that's what they're talking about in 2027. But
Mhm.
anyway, how did we get there? I don't know. I always do that. But
So
anyway, so
any
yeah,
new
you're synchronicity.
inspirations and synchronicities for you?
Well, I already talked about them, I guess. I jumped the gun. Yeah, I already talked about them, but I did have a couple synchronicities of things that my mom always seems to show me a happy. Oh, she sends me music too, but she always seems to send me a happy face. And there was something that I did that I I was berating myself, and then I was like, "Stop berating yourself." And I looked, and there was an upside down happy face, and I was like, "Well, that's interesting. There's never a sad face, not a
It's
sad
an
face."
upside down.
It was an upside down happy face. And so whatever it was, I turned it around and then I saw and I was like, okay, yeah, turn your frown upside down. Well, it wasn't really a frown, but so I'm seeing more of those, and all of the things that happen are happening more. Like I had a client ask me a question and something just came right through, boom, the initials of this person, and it turned into be that was their whole name, and that's never happened to me. There's just been a lot of things that, oh, well, it has happened, but not the full name. Okay, names come through once in a while, but anyway, and then and also in the circle in Amrit circle. people that are coming in, and there are new people coming in because it's growing like crazy. And a couple of people had, stated some things that really rang through to me and brought more synchronicities after I read them. It was like, oh, there, it was like boom, boom, boom. And the time is always a big synchronicity for me
Mhm.
all week. But there was one that I mentioned to somebody, and she's at my job, and she said, "Yeah, I have that too. That's this and that and the other." To her, it meant this. To me, it meant that. And then I don't even remember, I can't even explain how it happened, but it ended up in the same spot for both of us. It was like somebody in a meeting mentioned, and we both went, "Oh my God!" It was so cool. So, it's like I always have the synchronicities and the only inspiration that I really had, um, other than what was going through with MOC, was that I did wake up in the morning, one morning, hearing, "You will be serving as we served in the past and where we served in the past." I don't know who the we is. It could be the spirit of the land that I have connected to and been initiated into being. Or it could be, I don't know. There's a lot of, and I never allow anything in that isn't my vibration or higher, so I know it's got to be something good.
Mhm.
But and then I also heard we are here to serve at this time, and our parts that we need to play will all be revealed. And let's see, and they will not hurt ourselves, and they will fill our bodies. Not sure what that means, but we can ask in dreams, we can take shamanic journeys, and we can do all of that. But the main thing is we need to do is to listen into and to learn how to be and not always be doing. So, and because that's what I've noticed with so many people I know, that other people have been saying, well, you should talk to Donna. She has ways that she can help stop the pain, stuff like that. And then they say, they never get around to it. And then there was one woman that I said it will never work on her. She will not sit still. And even my most ADHD person that I love, my BFF, down the street, can do it, but I don't think this other woman will ever be able to. And that's the thing, is you have to be discerning about who you're going to send your healing to and who you're going to help. That's a big thing, an upcoming thing that we need to look at. And, you can't just throw it around everywhere. And it's not just because you have to keep it to yourself or you have to think of self-care. That's not what I'm talking about. That's the last step. The next step is to be discerning on where you send these things. So anyway, that's my oh, that was a big one. So how about you? Did you have any more?
Well, I had another posting the next day, and I don't normally do that because I only post on my Facebook page when I get inspired to, because I don't just post to post. And I was eating dinner and Jesus came through.
I love Jesus.
And I'm
It's
I'm
so
eating
funny.
dinner, and all of a sudden I'm getting this thought coming in. It's like, crap. And I put down my food and I get my notebook and I start writing this stuff down. It's like, okay, okay, okay. And and Jesus Jesus was a teacher.
Yes,
First and foremost, he was a teacher. He kind of wants this to be expressed. When people follow him to the ends of the earth, it's like you're not getting the message. You know, this is going to be controversial. However, you know, he isn't the savior of all mankind. He is the teacher to have us learn how to save ourselves.
exactly. I agree. It,
And
it comes from within. It's not, and
yes,
the savior thing. Yeah.
he wants us all to be guided by our own inner angels, our
Yes.
own higher self. This is what he wants for each and every one of us.
Yeah.
And it's like, and I think it's because, of Anne's thing. It's like, it just boom, popped in. And I've been told that I need to trust myself when things like this happen.
Mm-hmm.
And I am here to express myself in a certain way. And if these, if these people or not come in and I think of them and all of a sudden I'm getting this big inspiration to write what I think that they would have said, I need to write what I think that they would have said.
Yes. Yes.
And Jesus is tired of being used. And I used the term bastardized. And that was his word. He wanted me to use that word because he was kind of irritated,
Yeah.
and because people are bastardizing his name in the support of things that he does not believe in.
Right.
Jesus was all about love. He was all about compassion. He was all about teaching.
Forgiveness. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, forgiveness. And he just wants people to wake up to that fact. Not that
Um,
I've, not that of course we're besties, but I do think he likes me. I
he
do.
loves everybody. Jesus
He
loves
does.
me. Yes,
He
I
loves
know.
everybody.
Yes, he does. He does.
But
And he shows up differently for everybody.
yes, he does. Yes, he does.
And people ask me, how do you know it was Jesus? And I said, well, there is a certain thing he will ask you, and you will know. You'll know it's him when he asks you. So,
Because I remember he came to me quite a while ago and he anointed. It's funny, it would, because Anne did that anointing thing. And he had come and he had anointed me like months ago. I
mm,
had this little vision or whatever in my head upon waking up, and I was like being anointed by him.
hmm
So it's like, I have to trust some things, and
yes,
I will
you
trust
do.
this.
And it comes to everyone he comes and everything comes to everyone differently.
Mhm.
So, and I've told you you're a channeler. I've told you that. So there's proof right there.
And well, yeah, and talking about the crown, my crown chakra is the one that buzzes the most for me.
Ah, how about that?
That is my legs tingle, like when you said what you said.
Yeah.
My legs tingled, so like that's a truth.
What
That's
did I
something
say?
that's good and it's a truth.
I forget what I said that made your legs tingle now. What
But
did I
oh,
say?
it was about taking our podcast to the next level.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And you totally agreed. And so it's like, and my legs tingled at that point. So okay, that's like a truth to me. But every now and then my head will start burning. And it's just right here. It's
That's
kind
good.
of burning now.
Yeah.
It's my crown chakra burns a lot.
Well, and I think this lately over the last couple of months, your throat chakra has opened a lot because you never would have said that like
No, I wouldn't
even 2 months
have.
ago. Nope. And I'm so proud of you because
I don't want to alienate people. I don't
well,
want to be controversial.
the right people will hear it. And and if people don't like it, that's fine too. Everybody's different. But it also when somebody says something that I get defensive about, it's like I got to look at why I feel that way.
Mhm.
So, it's all inner work. It's all inner work. And then your outer what aura or whatever and the way you act, the way that you treat people will totally change. And if you've had Jesus anointing you, well, he washed my feet, which is that when that first happened, I cried through the whole thing. There you go, you're washed. And that was the thing that I was just talking about. Since
Mhm.
you said that, I figured I might as well, because someone he said, well, there's a way to tell. And I said, how's that? Well, he asked you a question. I said, yeah, he asked if he could wash my feet. She said, there you go, it's him. And it happens differently to different
It
people.
does. He
And he
gets
comes,
around.
yeah, okay,
and
he
and I'm
does.
not a religious person,
No,
but
well, I grew up that way, but he came to me when I was 8. I mean, he came to me and said that, I am. I wish I'd have written it down, but I was 8. It just scared me at the time. And then the next day when I woke up, I went out and bought a picture of Jesus and carried it around. And my dad was kind of like, "What's going on?"
I know. Well, I was made, I'm not going to say Jesus made me do it, but he was, but I will say, I was in church. It was like I was 12. And I was looking up and, there's Jesus on the cross and he's crying and there's blood dripping, in mosaic. Beautiful. But I'm sitting there and it's like, just doesn't feel right. And I walked out of the church, when it was over and I never went back.
Yeah, because
And
well, it's different for everybody.
and I think I was made to go through my own path,
Yeah,
to find him and what I believed in my own way.
yeah,
And that's, where this whole metaphysical, you open yourself up and you realize that things are not as they seem. We are not the only living, the animals in us are not the only living beings on this planet, and it is not our planet. It is a host planet for us, you
right,
know.
right. Well, and apparently I don't know if it still is right now, but it's a like a vacation place for other species to come. I'm
Because
told.
it's
I
a
don't know.
beautiful
Well, it
planet.
is a beautiful planet. It really is. I mean, you
We
have
got
to.
lots of
And
stuff.
that's part of what opened my eyes looking at because I've always been into astronomy and I love the moon and I think why do you love the moon? It looks awful. It's all gray and black and blah. And I don't it's a more of a physical thing, I guess. But when you start looking at all the planets and then of course going through Edgar Casey and who's the guy? There's another guy that talks about how and all the astrology talk, lately they've been really they don't just talk about, oh, you're a Libra, that means this. They're getting into some really heavy duty stuff and your moon and your, this node
Mhm.
and all that stuff that I'm sure it's been there a long time. I'm just opening up
Yeah,
to it now.
you're just finding
Yeah,
out
I'm
about
just
it.
understanding it now. But more people are talking about it, come out with it rather than, it used to be like a joke, like, oh, what's your sign? Now it's a whole thing. But the planets in our solar system, it's like your soul, it's like our souls. Our souls go through each I can't remember what they all mean, but like, Saturn means this. Mars is
Mhm.
war or
Mhm.
conflict anyway, that sort of thing. We all go through these steps
Mhm.
before we are enlightened. So it's all a part. But if you even look at some of the other, what gets me is looking at the nebulas out there. They're just unbelievable. They're unbelievably beautiful, but it's not like you can go visit them. But Earth is beautiful and they can come and visit.
Yeah,
So
it's like we are situated at, and this is what I had heard, learned a long time ago, we are situated in a segment of our galaxy that's kind of like a freeway off ramp. We're easy to get to. We got beautiful water, we have beautiful mountains, beautiful deserts, we have beautiful everything.
yeah, it's true.
And
True.
they like to come and visit us.
Yeah. So yeah, so I guess the last thing we wanted to do was go to our what we are calling the last word. And we do want to ask our audience if they wanted to let us know what inspires them or what synchronicities they had. What, oh, and what is the word awakening? We don't have time to get into that this time, but we can write it down for next time. What does awakening mean to you? That's another thing, because there are so many different ways to look at
Because Donna
things.
looks at awakening differently than I look at awakening.
I,
And so,
I guess I'm thinking of enlightenment, but I guess they're not the same thing. So I'm going to look into that.
okay. Okay, cool.
So anyway, so what last word would you like to pass on to our audience?
This is a really, I like to say troubling. It's a very chaotic time for a lot of people right now. And this is, this is what we're going through. But we will get through it. Many people have gone through much tougher situations than we have. What are we in the 21st century?
Yes.
I always get those confused.
Me
We're
too.
in, we're in the 21st century. We're not in the 1800s anymore.
Right.
We have so many wonderful amenities at our fingertips. We have electricity, we have heat, we have air conditioning, we have cars, even though, of course,
You
we
don't
should
at the
be,
moment, but yeah.
yeah, we should have had, self-sustaining cars a very long time ago. Stephen Greer. Stephen
Yeah. Oh, don't get me started there. But
but but
anyway, but
but we
yeah,
have so many wonderful things that are making our lives easier. And don't forget that.
that's right. And there are a lot of people who don't even have those things, so we have to be grateful
Yeah.
that we decided to live where we are.
Mhm.
But so my last word, I want to say that we all need to look at the things that are being disclosed and unearthed. Like, Graham Hancock is finding some wonderful things that, regular anthropogists, etc., are not really getting involved in. There's so many things all over the world that are opening up, things in Egypt, things in Iran, things that they found. Supposedly they found my Melchizedek's temple, and there's so many things going on, and so many things being disclosed. So that's what you brought up, Stephen Greer. I'm just like, don't even start, because we'll be here for another hour. So that's the next thing that I would like to suggest. I don't know how she's going to think of this because I haven't asked her yet. If we were to have a whole session, a whole podcast that includes all the woo woo weird stuff, like the ETs, the disclosure, the what do you call them, the Sasquatch, all the weird things that not like chupacabras and things like that because I don't know anything about them, but
only the weird stuff that we know about.
only yeah. And well, the idea that people actually see these things. Okay, so maybe like unexplained things that people see, and because we need to explore our reaction to these things, because just to let you know, a lot of new things are going to be coming, so we have to be open and know what we think of these things and how we react. That's all. That's my last word. So
Yeah,
there you go.
because we need to calm down that fear aspect within ourselves of anything that is new and different from us.
I think that's wonderful.
Because there's going to be a lot of new and different things that we're not going to be prepared for,
Yeah.
but we don't want to go around thinking that we can just kill our way out of everything.
Oh, totally. I agree. Yeah. Well, we have to go to Emirates service now, so we're almost late. I don't want to be late. So yeah, so this was a good session. I'm really excited about it, and I I'm thank you for being open to all this stuff.
Well,
Okay.
thank you for, getting inspired to do it this way.
Yeah. And thank you all for showing up and for liking and subscribing and sharing, and we thank you. And now
Thank you.
it's your time. That's it. It's your time.
It is your time.
All right.
All right.
Thank
Bye, you
you.
guys.
Bye.